Hey, welcome back to Posty TV. So, just been working away on the army bike. Um, I've been getting a bit of stuff done, just trying to paint, repair things, get it ready to start putting it all together. I don't know if it's in my DNA or what it is, but I can't paint things and just let them sit there. So, I've started putting it all together before I've got it all painted. So, got a bit of it together now, but what I did was I started up my postie wall. So put all the parts that I had to paint up on the wall, or repair, or that the tires and wheels are here. I've got to change the tires over. Hubs have to be painted black. Some new tires sitting there. That little cool rear guard for the Ct110 that I've got off my mate Dave. I've got to paint it black. Battery cover, already painted camo. Tank, already done. The exhaust, so I've just done this is an exhaust that I made. So it's got a 28mm header pipe, I suppose you call it. And I've taken all the baffles out of the original. So I've kept the original chrome guards that are now camo. That's the heat shield that comes with the new header pipe. So I want to get some good performance out of it, but I don't want to go too crazy. I suppose it's sort of a mixture between the look that we're going for and performance on this one. We've got the engine that we built sitting here ready to rock, so to go in. Handlebars, I need to do some work on them before I can get them up. That's probably my next thing, because I need to get the wiring going. Little things like brake levers and stuff like that need to go in, gear levers. I've painted them, got them ready to go. CC did the seat the other day, so that's over there. So I might do in this video, I might even do the tank and put the tank on the frame. We'll see how we go. I'm not sure, but so what I'll do is I'll just bring you up to speed on what I've done with the frame, with the wiring. So the thing with this build was I was going to do aftermarket parts, not original Honda parts for the indicators and lights. So I've got here, these are my little indicators. All this stuff's just eBay stuff, like it's not hard to get. Like that's tail light. So that's $16. What I did do with that though is, you can probably see where I've cut it. This bracket for me come out too far, so when you got the angle right, the number plate wouldn't sit flush up here. The number plate would hit the bottom bolt here, so I re-drilled the hole further back on this top plate to clear the number plate, so when it sits flush it sort of goes through. That's just sitting there at the moment. Indicators, all I have to do with them is just turn the lenses around so that all these were sort of facing up and down. As you can see, all the wires, I've just basically run them in underneath here. Normally the wires run on top. I'm going to tidy them all up, heat shrink them, and then sort of hold them up underneath. Things like this bolt here, this hole here, where there normally is a grey plastic clip that the wires come up, I'm going to sort of get a nut on the other side and hold the wires up and put a bolt up through here, which is going to hold the wires up so they don't sort of foul up with the tyre when the suspension's right up. We painted the suspension, like standard suspension, just painted with the paint that I use. So the paint that I use for all this black stuff, like it's easy to use. It's something that lasts a long time. It's quite durable. It's this caliper, like brake caliper paint. So it's quite, it handles the heat. It goes up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So it'll handle the heat. You can actually paint your engines and stuff with it. I think I'm not really good with Fahrenheit, so I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it handles the heat. It's really easy to paint, and it's a really strong coating. So I've been using that a bit. So that's what anything that's I've had to paint black is that stuff. So like those levers and stuff I was talking about, they are that black as well. Wiring wise, I've got a standard 12 volt wiring loom. This bike's going to be 12 volt. It's an 89, but I put a 12 volt engine in it, so I'll just use a standard 12 volt wiring loom. I've just tidied it up a little bit. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to put the down tube plastic on it, just because I actually think my carby that I'm running is going to go really close to this down tube, and I might not be able to. I would like to, because it would cover all the wiring. I'll just have to see when I get the engine what I'm going to do there. I might actually have to tidy up the wiring, or even try and run it inside. But again, I'll see when I get there. So I've run all the wiring sort of through the normal loom, the ignition switch. This is for the engine, the stator to plug into. Run it through the normal path and just pulled it into the battery box. Now this is a 6 volt frame, so this hole's smaller, so I can't use a 12 volt cradle for the battery, so I make my own sort of thing up, which I'll show you when I do. You got your regulator, battery terminals, you got the earth that goes to the frame, fuse holder, which isn't on there at the moment. I had a new 12 volt flasher for the indicators, and I bought just on eBay a 12 volt ignition, so a CDI and a coil, because I didn't have one of those, so just a coil plug. So that's a little bit shorter than the original, so I'm going to have to mount that a bit further up. Normally they mount on the 6 volts here above, underneath the tank. So there's a hole on the other side, and I can run it up there just to get enough length so this connects up to the engine. Switches and stuff are just sitting there at the moment. I'm just sort of trying to work it all out where everything's going. But on the front, I've redone the forks, I've done the seals, I've painted them the camo, new boots. I've painted the collar up here that's normally chrome, the light there. I've painted that to match. So they've got new seals, new oil in them. I've done previous videos if you want to see how to do that. So that's all sorted. And then I've got this new headlight that I got. So again, this is all just eBay stuff. Same indicators that are on the back. I had to mount this in here. Let's see if you can get it in there. So that's the bolt that the original headlight mounts to. See how I've got it further back here? So what I've done is these have got a bolt that comes through, and I've just drilled a hole in the headlight itself further back and run the indicator into the headlight, and then you can see here that's the original bolt and that's the indicator. So that's actually holding the headlight in. I had made a bracket sort of to go on the side to space the headlight further forward. So the problem was the headlight's hitting in the back in here before it goes all the way back to these bolts. So I've just drilled them further back, which has brought the whole headlight itself further forward. But the thing was, it gives me, I can still tilt it, you know, up and down using that bolt, because I've got the pivot point. Where I was going to use my bracket would be a bit dodgy, a little bit too much movement in it. So the good thing with this headlight is it's got this here, so I can actually run my original spaghetti junction in the headlight bucket like a original postie headlight, and it's very similar to a postie sort of setup with a globe and everything. And that will go go in, give me the same sort of look as the indicators, and I'll still have the room in here to connect up all my wires without having to have it on the outside all messy. So yeah, that worked really well. I think it's at $50 or $60 this headlight, but it's going to save me a lot of work and time, and it's got the same sort of look, indicators. Sorry, that light's right there. Indicators the same. So if you look at it sort of overview, yeah, I think it's gonna work well with those indicators, and that they haven't been too much work to get in. These, if you've got a frame, if you feel on the inside, you can actually feel a hole that's on the inner skin. So there's like two skins here, and on the inside's actually got one hole. So I've just transferred the mark out to the outside and drilled straight through that. So that's double thickness, and that's gone in, and it doesn't protrude too much into. You can see with the light, it doesn't go too far in. So once the wires are tucked up out of the way, they shouldn't. Hopefully they don't hit the tyre when it goes right up. So if they do, I'll know all about it, because I won't have any lights and there'll be bits of wire hanging out everywhere. But yeah, that's sort of, you know, instead of using the original Honda stuff, it's cheap. It's, you know, some other guys are using this on their bikes as well. The builds they're doing at the moment, these indicators. They're bright, they're easy to use. You know, they've got through wires. You just basically, you've got your, you can see, you just got your negative, and then you can pick either one of these, the orange or the red, to be your positive, to make them go. And when I come through to the original wiring, the blue and the orange are your indicators there. I'll just connect them up. It's just going to be a matter of which one I get them the right way. One of the cool things actually is that these bullet heads do connect into those, so they do pair up. Obviously I'm going to have to run the wires across and into it, but I can use the heads to hook up into here. So if I get them back to front, the wires, I can just swap them over easily. So all in all, I think it's been quite easy to use this aftermarket stuff, and I think it's going to look great with this headlight especially. So now I've just got to get on to get those handlebars painted. I've got to weld up some holes on them, buff the sort of, I'll grind the holes flat and paint them up. Then I can start the wiring, the switches and everything. So what I'm going to do in here is, I don't think there is as much room as the original, so I'm going to maybe solder up some of the connections, just make them a bit smaller, a bit more slimline. But yeah, that was a good find. I'll put the link to this to the headlights and indicators, and I'll put it in the comments on this video, just so if you are chasing them. But it was, you know, $50 or $60 for a headlight. It's pretty good. So, and I'm running the LED speedo, which I've got on my other living bike, with the tacho and the trip meter and all that sort of stuff. So I've got a black one instead of the chrome one I got last time. I got a black one to run on there. So yeah, it's gonna be good fun. Should be a good bike when it's done. So I've probably rambled on for way too long, and used up a whole video worth of time. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to keep going with this wire, and I'm going to start hooking that all up. I'll come back and do the next video, and I'll just show you how I run the tank through when I'm using these different carbies with only one pickup, and how I run a tap and a filter. So, all right, till next time. See you later. Bye.